My parents didn't forget my graduation gift. They gave it to my sister. The velvet keyring caught stage lights as I crossed the platform. Mom pressed it into my sister's palm, front row, seat 12. The house is yours, sweetie. My sister wasn't even graduating. I was. My hand stayed empty. 340 guests watched my parents gift her a $780,000 house while I held my diploma alone. I didn't post the ceremony video. My roommate's father did, that key handoff, my empty hands, 2.1 million views in 48 hours. Dad's law firm partners saw everything. Then the calls started. The email arrived at 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday that changed everything. I was hunched over my laptop in my cramped dorm room, wearing the same sweatpants I'd slept in for 3 nights straight. Finals week had drained me. But when I saw Columbia University Office of Admissions in my inbox, exhaustion vanished. Congratulations, Jasmine Rivera. We are pleased to offer you admission. I didn't breathe until I saw the next line. Full academic scholarship, $68,000 per year. My hands shook so badly, I nearly knocked over cold coffee. 4 years of killing myself for a 4 GPA. 4 years of choosing library carols over parties. It had worked. I grabbed my phone and called home before my brain could catch up. Mom answered on the 5th ring. Jasmine, it's barely 7. I got in, my voice cracked. Columbia, full ride, Mom, I'm going to Columbia. Silence stretched long enough that I checked if the call had dropped. That's nice, honey. Her tone was flat, distracted. Your father and I are proud. Nice, the word landed wrong. Mom, it's Columbia, Ivy League. I don't have to pay a cent. This is. Vanessa, put that down. Mom's voice snapped away from the phone. Sorry, Jasmine, your sister S here. We're helping her with, well, she has some exciting news too. My stomach twisted. What news? She'll tell the family tonight. Why don't you call back later? We're a bit busy. The line went dead. I stared at my phone. No congratulations, no celebration, just nice and call back later. I should have recognized the pattern then. I thought back to when I was 12 years old, standing in our kitchen after winning the regional spelling bee. I'd beaten 47 other kids. My trophy gleamed on the counter. We're so proud of you, Jazzy, Dad had said, ruffling my hair. When you make it big someday, we'll be right there cheering. We'll give you the world. Mom had kissed my forehead. Our smart girl, you're going to do amazing things. I'd believed them. I believed them when I won the science fair at 15. When I got a perfect score on my SATs at 16. When I was named valedictorian at 17. Every achievement came with the same promise. When you succeed, we'll celebrate. But that morning, staring at my acceptance email, something felt off. I pushed the feeling down. Maybe they were just busy. Maybe Vanessa's news was important too. I called back that evening. Dad answered this time. Hey, sweetheart, your mom told me about Columbia. That's wonderful. Thanks, Dad. So what's Vanessa's news? His voice exploded with enthusiasm I hadn't heard in years. She's engaged. Can you believe it? Our Nessa's getting married. We're over the moon. She and Derek have been together 6 months, but when you know, right? 6 months, my 4 years of academic hell earned nice. Her 6-month relationship earned over the moon. That's great, Dad. Really happy for her. We're throwing her an engagement party next month. You'll come home for it, right? It'll be at the country club. Big celebration. Country club, that wasn't cheap. Sure, I'll be there. After we hung up, I sat on my dorm bed and stared at the Columbia acceptance letter I'd printed out. I'd taped it to my wall, right next to my high school diploma and a photo of me at graduation, valedictorian, summa cum laude, full scholarship to state school. In that photo, Mom and Dad stood on either side of me, smiling. I thought college would be different. I thought distance would make them appreciate me more. Instead, I worked 20 hours a week at the campus bookstore to cover expenses my scholarship didn't. I took out $31,000 in student loans for housing and books. I spent summers waitressing instead of going home because I needed the money. Meanwhile, Vanessa was 26, living at home rent-free, working part-time at a boutique she'd begged Dad to help her open. He'd given her $45,000 to start it. It failed within a year. Mom had sent me a care package once during sophomore year, a box of cookies, and a card that said, "Thinking of you." I'd cried over those cookies like they were gold. Now I was 3 months from graduating Columbia with honors, and my achievement was nice. But I told myself it would be different at graduation. That's when they'd see. That's when they'd finally celebrate me the way they celebrated Vanessa's every breath. I was wrong. Our family operated on a simple prank. Vanessa was the sun, and I was the shadow it cast. I didn't understand this until I was old enough to look back and see the pattern. When I was 10, I won the regional spelling bee. Mom gave me a pat on the head and $20. That same week, Vanessa wanted to go to the mall. Mom took her on a shopping spree and spent $300 on clothes Vanessa wore once. When I was 15, my science project on renewable energy won first place at the state competition. Dad said, "Good job, kiddo," and went back to watching TV. 2 months later, Vanessa decided she needed a car for independence. Dad bought her a used Honda Civic for $12,000. When I was 17, I was named valedictorian with a 4 GPA. They came to my high school graduation and took one photo. When Vanessa turned 21, they threw her a surprise party at a rented venue with 100 guests and a live band. I learned not to expect equal, I learned to expect less. But I never stopped achieving. Maybe I thought if I was good enough, smart enough, successful enough, they'd finally see me. Columbia was supposed to be my proof. I spent 4 years there surviving on library air conditioning and ramen noodles. I worked 20-hour weeks at the campus bookstore, shelving textbooks and ringing up students whose parents paid their tuition without blinking. I spent Friday nights studying while my roommate went to parties. I graduated with a 3.9 GPA and honors in economics. The cost, $31,000 in student loans, carpal tunnel from typing papers, 4 years of watching my bank account hover near zero. Meanwhile, Vanessa's boutique had failed, but that was fine. Dad gave her $18,000 to find herself in Europe for 3 months. She came back with stories and no job. Mom said she was discovering her path. I was discovering the limits of my credit card and how many shifts I could work without collapsing. But graduation was coming, my Columbia graduation. I sent the invitation 2 months in advance. Thick cardstock, embossed lettering, Jasmine Rivera, Bachelor of Arts in Economics, summa cum laude. I called Mom the day after I mailed it. "Did you get my graduation invitation?" "Oh yes, it's beautiful, honey, we'll be there." My heart lifted. "Really, you'll come?" "Of course, you're graduating from Columbia, that's a big deal." I nearly cried. "Thank you, Mom, it means everything." "We're proud of you, Jasmine, always have been." I wanted to believe her. I reserved 2 front row seats. Section A, row 1, seats 7 and 8. I checked the seating chart 3 times to make sure they'd have the best view. Columbia's graduation ceremony was massive, thousands of students, tens of thousands of guests. But I wanted my parents right there, front and center, finally seeing me. The week before graduation, I called to confirm. "You're still coming, right? May 15th, 10 a.m. "Yes, Jasmine, we'll be there." Mom sounded distracted. "Your sister's coming with us, actually." That surprised me. Vanessa and I weren't close. We hadn't been for years. "Oh, okay, that's nice." "She wanted to support you." Something in Mom's tone felt off, but I ignored it. I was too excited. I'd survived Columbia. I'd done it without their money, without their help, on my own strength. And now they'd witness the result. I bought a new dress for under the gown, navy blue, professional, hopeful. I practiced walking in heels. I rehearsed staying composed when they called my name. The night before graduation, I couldn't sleep. I lay in my dorm bed staring at the ceiling, imagining Mom and Dad standing when I walked across the stage, imagining them cheering, imagining, finally, being enough. I should have known better. Some patterns don't break, they just find new ways to hurt you. Graduation morning arrived with June sunshine and knots in my stomach. I woke at 6 a.m. in my dorm room, too anxious to sleep longer. My roommate Emma was already up, curling her hair. "Big day," she said, grinning at me in the mirror. "You ready?" "I don't know." I pulled my Columbia gown from its plastic wrap. The blue fabric was heavier than I expected. Official. Real. Your parents are coming, right? Front row, seats 7 and 8. Emma squeezed my shoulder. They're going to be so proud. I wanted to believe her. By 8 a.m., I was dressed, navy dress, cap and gown, summa cum laude cord draped around my neck. I stared at myself in the mirror. 4 years of sacrifice stared back. I looked like success. I felt like I was about to throw up. The ceremony was at Columbia's main campus, outdoors on the lawn. By the time I arrived at 9, thousands of people already filled the space. Families clustered together, taking photos. Graduates hugged friends. The air buzzed with celebration. I scanned the crowd for my parents. Row 1, seats 7 and 8. I'd memorized their location. Empty. I checked my phone, no messages. They're just running late, I told myself. Traffic, it's fine. I saved their seats anyway, draped my jacket over seat 7, my purse over seat 8. Around me, other families arrived and settled in. A father adjusted his daughter's cap. A mother cried happy tears. A little brother held a congrats sign. I stood alone, watching the seats I'd saved. At 9:45, I saw them. Mom, Dad, Vanessa. Relief flooded through me. They came, they actually came. But something was wrong. Vanessa was wearing white. A white dress, too formal for a graduation ceremony, and she was carrying something, a small velvet box. They walked down the aisle toward the front row, but not toward me. They sat 3 seats over. Seats 10, 11, and 12. Not in the seats I'd saved. I walked over confused. Mom, Dad, I saved seats for you, right there. Mom barely looked at me. Oh, honey, these are fine. We can see just as well from here. But Jasmine, don't make a fuss. The ceremony's starting soon. Dad's voice was clipped, distracted. Vanessa wouldn't meet my eyes. Something was wrong. Something was very wrong. But the music started, pomp and circumstance. Graduates began filing into their seats. I had to go. I walked to my assigned seat in the graduate section, 3 rows back, and sat down. From where I was, I could see my parents clearly. Mom was whispering to Vanessa. Dad was checking his phone. None of them looked at me. The ceremony began, speaker after speaker. Dean's address, honorary degrees. My stomach churned the entire time. Then they started calling names. Alphabetically, I watched students walk across the stage, shake hands, receive diplomas. Families cheered. Some people stood. Photos flashed constantly. Jasmine Marie Rivera. My name echoed across the lawn. I stood, my legs shook. I walked up the stage steps, across the platform toward the dean. I glanced at row 1. Mom and Dad sat motionless. No standing, no cheering. But then movement. Mom stood, finally. My heart lifted. And she turned to Vanessa. In the middle of my walk across the stage, Mom pulled the velvet box from Vanessa's lap. She opened it. Inside, keys. House keys on a silver ring. Mom pressed them into Vanessa's hand. Loudly, deliberately. The house is yours, sweetie, all yours. Her voice carried. People around them turned to look. Vanessa's face flushed. She tried to whisper something, but Mom kept talking. $780,000. Your father and I want you to have it. You deserve it. I stood frozen on stage, diploma in hand, watching my mother gift my sister a house during my graduation. The dean cleared his throat. Congratulations, Ms. Rivera. I took the diploma. My hands were numb. I walked off the stage in a blur. My vision tunneled. Sound faded to white noise. I made it back to my seat and sat down. The ceremony continued. More names, more applause. I didn't hear any of it. When it ended, I didn't move. Graduates around me hugged families and took photos. I sat alone, staring at my diploma. Emma found me 20 minutes later. Jasmine, you okay? I couldn't speak. She looked toward row 1. My parents were gone, so was Vanessa. Where did they go? I didn't know. I checked my phone with shaking hands. One text message, from Mom, sent at 10:47 a.m. during the ceremony. Had to leave early. Vanessa has a house inspection at noon. Congrats on graduating, love you. House inspection. I scrolled up, another text, sent last night, I'd missed it. From Dad, By the way, the house we're giving Vanessa tomorrow is a good investment property. Your grandmother left some money. We invested it wisely for the family. Grandmother. My grandmother had died during my sophomore year. I'd been too broke to fly home for the funeral. I'd asked Mom about the estate. She said, "Don't worry about it, honey. We're handling everything." Investment property, for the family. My hands started shaking harder. Jasmine, what's wrong? Emma was reading over my shoulder. My grandmother left money. My voice didn't sound like mine. They gave it to Vanessa. What? They gave my sister a house, with my grandmother's money, during my graduation. Emma's face went white. Jasmine. I need to go. I stood, my legs barely held me. I walked through the crowd of celebrating families, still wearing my cap and gown, clutching my diploma like it was the only thing tethering me to reality. I made it to my dorm, locked the door, sat on the floor. And finally, I let myself break. I spent the day after graduation in my dorm room with the blinds closed. Emma brought me coffee and didn't ask questions. I was grateful for that. By the next morning, I'd convinced myself I was overreacting. Maybe Mom's text was just poorly worded. Maybe the timing was coincidental. Maybe I was being ungrateful. I was making excuses. I realize that now. My phone rang at 9 a.m. Aunt Rosa. I almost didn't answer. But Aunt Rosa was my grandmother's sister, the only person in the family who ever asked how I was doing without following it up with N. How es Vanessa? Jasmine, me Amber, congratulations on your graduation. Her voice cracked something open inside me. Thanks, Aunt Rosa. I wish I could have been there. My hip, but I was thinking of you. She paused. Did your parents make it? I couldn't lie to her. They came, but they left early. Left early, from your Columbia graduation. Vanessa had a house inspection. Silence, then carefully, the house your parents bought her. Yeah. With your grandmother's money. My chest tightened. What? The inheritance, Mija, from your abuela. She left money specifically for you. The room tilted. What are you talking about? Aunt Rose's voice went sharp. They didn't tell you. Tell me what? Jasmine, your grandmother left you $400,000 for your education and your first home. She put it in her will. She was very specific about it. $400,000. My hands started shaking. When did she die? 2 years ago. You were in your sophomore year. 2 years, they'd had this money for 2 years. Your parents were executors of the estate, Aunt Rosa continued. Maria trusted them to handle it properly, to give you the money when you graduated. I couldn't breathe. They never told me. Dios mío. Aunt Rosa's voice turned to steel. Jasmine, that money was for you. Your grandmother wrote your name. She wanted you to have security. She knew how hard you were working. I thought about the past 2 years, working 20-hour weeks, taking out loans, eating ramen, skipping meals to save money. While my parents sat on $400,000 meant for me. Aunt Rosa, I have to go. Jasmine, wait. I hung up. My laptop was open on my desk. My hands moved before my brain caught up. County probate records, public information. I typed my grandmother's name. Estate of Maria Elena Rivera. The file loaded. Will filed 18 months ago. Probate closed 6 months ago. I clicked through pages of legal language until I found it. I hereby bequeath the sum of $400,000 to my granddaughter, Jasmine Marie Rivera, to be used for her educational expenses and the purchase of her first home. My grandmother's signature at the bottom, witnessed, notarized, legal. And below that, executors of estate, Marcus Rivera and Linda Rivera. Mom and Dad. They knew. They'd known for 18 months. I kept reading. Account established in beneficiary's name at First National Bank. $400,000 deposited. An account in my name, that I'd never been told about. My stomach turned. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. When I came back, Emma was standing in the doorway. Jasmine, what's wrong? I couldn't speak. I pointed at the laptop screen. She read silently. Her face went white. They stole from you. I don't know yet. My voice sounded hollow. I need to check something. I grabbed my phone and pulled up my bank's app. First National Bank, the same bank from the probate document. I logged in, checked my accounts. Checking, $247.32. Savings, $1,891.15. Student loan payment due, $318. No trust account, no inheritance account, nothing with $400,000. It should be here, I whispered. The will said an account in my name. Emma leaned over my shoulder. Call the bank. I did. My hands shook so badly I could barely dial. First National Bank, this is Derek speaking. How can I help you? I need to check on an account, a trust account that should be in my name. Name and social security number, please. I gave them. Typing sounds. Then, I'm showing a trust account established 18 months ago. Account holder Jasmine Rivera. Is this what you're looking for? My heart stopped. Yes. What do you need to know? The current balance. More typing, a pause that lasted forever. The current balance is $8,412. 8,000. Out of 400,000. What happened to the rest? I'm showing multiple withdrawals over the past 18 months. Large withdrawals. Do you need the transaction history? Yes, I could barely form words. Email it to me. I gave him my email address, hung up. Emma stared at me. 8,000 out of 400,000. They took it, my voice cracked. They took almost all of it. My laptop pinged. Email from First National Bank. Transaction history attached. I opened it and saw exactly where my inheritance went. The spreadsheet filled my screen, rows and rows of withdrawals. I couldn't process it at first. The numbers blurred together. Emma pulled a chair next to mine. Start from the beginning. I scrolled to the top. Account opened 18 months ago. Initial deposit $400,000. Then the bleeding started. First withdrawal 2 weeks later, $45,000. Memo, business investment. I remembered that. Mom had called me stressed. Your father's having some cash flow problems with a business opportunity, nothing to worry about. I'd believed her. Second withdrawal 1 month later, $80,000. Memo, emergency medical expenses. I'd asked about that too. Dad had said, just some procedures your mother needed. Insurance didn't cover everything. Lies. Third withdrawal 3 months later, $60,000. Memo, home repairs. The roof, they said the roof needed emergency repairs. Fourth withdrawal 6 months later, $25,000. Memo, family emergency. I didn't even remember this one. Fifth withdrawal 8 months later, $40,000. Memo, investment opportunity. Sixth withdrawal 3 weeks before my graduation, $142,000. Memo, real estate down payment. My vision went red. $142,000, 3 weeks before my graduation. I grabbed my phone and searched for property records in my parents' county. Recent sales, filter by date. There it was. Property sold to Vanessa Rivera. Purchase price, $780,000. Down payment, $195,000. Closing date, 2 weeks before my graduation. They'd taken my inheritance money. Money my grandmother specifically left for my education and my future home, and used it to buy Vanessa a house. Jasmine, Emma's voice was tight, keep scrolling. I did. More withdrawals, smaller ones, 5,000 here, 8,000 there. The memos made me sick. Wedding venue deposit. Engagement party. Bridal shower. Wedding caterer. Every single one for Vanessa. My grandmother's money, meant for me, spent on my sister's wedding. I added up the numbers with shaking hands. Total withdrawn, $391,588. Remaining balance, $8,412. Out of $400,000, I had $8,000 left. My stomach dropped, then rage filled the empty space. They forged your signature, Emma said quietly. She was pointing at the withdrawal authorizations. Look. Each withdrawal required account holder approval. digital signature on file. I clicked the link. A scanned document appeared, authorization for withdrawal, account holder signature required. There it was, Jasmine M. Rivera. But I'd never signed anything. I'd never even known this account existed. I pulled up my own signature from a school document, compared them side by side. Close but not exact. The J curved differently. The R had an extra loop I never made. This isn't my signature. They forged it, Emma repeated. Jasmine, this is fraud, this is a crime. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I gripped the edge of my desk. 18 months. For 18 months, my parents had drained my inheritance. While I worked 20-hour weeks to afford textbooks. While I took out $31,000 in student loans. While I survived on ramen and instant coffee. While I skipped meals to make rent. They'd had $400,000 that was legally mine, and they'd spent it on Vanessa. I scrolled back through the dates, cross-referenced them with my memory. The $45,000 business investment, that was when Vanessa's boutique opened. I'd seen the photos on Facebook. Grand opening, champagne, fancy displays. The $80,000 medical expenses, that was Vanessa's engagement party. I'd seen those photos too. Country club venue, live band, 200 guests. The $60,000 home repairs, Vanessa's bridal shower, catered, professional photographer. Every lie had been covering for Vanessa's lifestyle. And the $142,000 down payment 3 weeks before my graduation. They'd known. They'd known they were giving her a house with my money, and they'd still shown up to my graduation to hand her the keys in front of everyone. That wasn't carelessness, that was cruelty. I thought about that velvet box, Mom pressing the keys into Vanessa's hand during my walk across the stage. The house is yours, sweetie, you deserve it. Deserve it with my money, with my grandmother's gift to me. I pulled up the probate document again, read my grandmother's words. I leave this money to Jasmine because she has worked harder than anyone I know. She has sacrificed and persevered. I want her to have security and opportunity. I want her to know she is valued. My grandmother had seen me, she'd seen my struggle, she'd tried to help. And my parents had stolen it. I looked at Emma, her eyes were wet. What do I do? She took a breath, you fight back. I couldn't sleep that night. I lay in bed with my laptop, scrolling through the bank statements over and over. 18 months of theft, laid out in a spreadsheet. But it was more than just numbers. Each withdrawal had a memory attached now. I started writing them down, building a timeline. 18 months ago, account opened with my inheritance. I'd called home that week, crying about tuition stress. Mom had said, just take out loans, honey. Everyone does. She'd known I had $400,000 sitting in an account with my name on it. 16 months ago, $45,000 withdrawn for business investment. I'd worked a double shift at the bookstore that week to make rent. My feet had bled through my shoes. Vanessa's boutique opened 3 days later. 14 months ago, $80,000 withdrawn for medical expenses. I'd skipped Thanksgiving tea. Work because I couldn't afford the flight home. Vanessa's engagement party happened that weekend. I'd seen the photos, ice sculpture, open bar, string quartet. 12 months ago, $60,000 withdrawn for home repairs. I'd been eating ramen for 6 days straight because I'd overdrafted my account buying textbooks. Vanessa's bridal shower was at a country club. 10 months ago, $25,000 withdrawn for family emergency. I'd asked Mom what the emergency was. She said, nothing for you to worry about. The wedding invitations went out that week, embossed, custom calligraphy. 6 months ago, $40,000 withdrawn for investment opportunity. I'd been rejected for a credit card because my credit score was too low from maxed-out student loans. Vanessa's bachelorette party was in Miami. 3 weeks before graduation, $142,000 withdrawn for real estate down payment. I'd been packing my dorm room, trying to figure out how to afford storage for my stuff over the summer. Vanessa closed on a $780,000 house. Graduation day, parents gave Vanessa the keys during my ceremony. I'd walked across the stage alone, $8,412 left in an account I didn't know existed. I stared at my handwritten timeline, 18 months of parallel universes. In one universe, I struggled. In the other, Vanessa thrived. And the only difference was my money. My grandmother's money, meant for me. I thought about all the times I'd called home, stressed about finances. All the times they'd told me to figure it out, or be responsible, or take out loans. They'd been spending my inheritance while lecturing me about financial responsibility. The rage I'd been holding back broke through. I grabbed my phone and pulled up old text messages, started screenshotting. Mom, 10 months ago. Jasmine, you need to budget better. We can't keep helping you. I'd asked for $200 to cover an unexpected doctor's bill. They said no. They said no while sitting on my $400,000 inheritance. Dad, 8 months ago. Student loans are normal. It'll teach you the value of money. I'd been crying about debt. He'd been giving Vanessa $40,000 for a party. Mom, 4 months ago. Vanessa's wedding is expensive, honey. We can't afford to help with your graduation expenses, too. I'd asked for help with my cap and gown rental, $75. They said they couldn't afford it. They just spent $60,000 on Vanessa's bridal shower. I kept scrolling, kept finding messages. Each one a lie, each one a knife. By 3 a.m., I had 47 screenshots. 47 times my parents had told me they couldn't help me financially, while they were draining my inheritance. I thought about calling them, confronting them, demanding answers. But what would they say? More lies, more excuses. No, I needed proof first, all of it, documented, undeniable. I emailed the bank and requested certified copies of all transaction records, every withdrawal, every forged signature, everything. Then I pulled up my grandmother's will again. Read the entire document this time. She left some money to Aunt Rosa, some to the church, but the bulk, the $400,000, was for me. And she'd included a letter. I'd missed it before, attached as a PDF at the end of the probate file. I clicked it open. My grandmother's handwriting filled the screen, shaky but clear. My dearest Jasmine, if you are reading this, I am gone, but I want you to know how proud I am of you. You have worked harder than anyone in this family. You have sacrificed without complaining. You have stayed kind even when others took you for granted. I am leaving you this money because you deserve security. You deserve to pursue your dreams without drowning in debt. You deserve to own a home. You deserve a foundation. Your parents are executors, but this money is yours. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. It is for your education and your future home. No one else's. Use it wisely, use it well, and know that I see you, Mija. I have always seen you. Te amo siempre. Abuela. I read it 3 times. Somehow she'd known I'd need that message. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. But they hadn't told me at all. They'd hidden it, stolen it, spent it on my sister while I struggled. My grandmother had tried to give me security. My parents had taken it away. I closed my laptop, stared at the ceiling. Emma was right, this was fraud, theft, embezzlement. And I wasn't going to let them get away with it. I didn't sleep that night. By the time Emma woke up at 7 a.m., I was still at my laptop, surrounded by printed bank statements and notes. Jasmine, she stood in the doorway studying me. Have you been up all night? I needed to understand everything. My voice was hoarse. Emma, it's worse than I thought. She sat down next to me without a word. I showed her the timeline I'd built, every withdrawal, every lie, every dollar. $391,000, I said. They took almost all of it. Emma's jaw tightened. This is theft. I know. No, I mean legally. This is actual theft. She pulled my laptop closer, scrolling through the bank statements. Jasmine, your grandmother's will specifically named you as the beneficiary. Your parents were executors. They had a fiduciary duty. A what? Fiduciary duty. It means they were legally required to act in your best interest, not theirs. They violated that. She looked at me. This isn't just family drama. This is a crime. The word hung between us. Crime. I can't accuse my parents of a crime. They committed one? Emma's voice was firm. Look at this. They forged your signature. They took money that was legally yours. They used it for themselves, for Vanessa, while you were taking out loans and working yourself to death. I felt tears building. What am I supposed to do? You fight back. She grabbed my hands. Jasmine, listen to me. I know they're your parents, but what they did is unforgivable, and it's illegal. Everyone will think I'm vindictive, that I'm tearing the family apart over money. You're not tearing anything apart. They did that when they stole from you. Emma squeezed my hands harder. Your grandmother left you that money for a reason. She wanted you to have security. They took that from you. Don't let them get away with it. I looked at the bank statements spread across my desk. $391,588 stolen. What do I do first? You need a lawyer. Emma was already pulling out her phone. My mom knows an estate attorney in the city, Sarah Walsh. She handles inheritance disputes. I can't afford a lawyer. Call her anyway. Most will do a free consultation. Emma was texting rapidly. I'm asking my mom for her number now. My phone buzzed, a text from my father. Hope you're doing well, sweetheart. Let us know when you're moving out of the dorm. We'd love to help. Help, the word made me sick. I showed Emma the text. Are you kidding me? Her voice rose. They steal your inheritance and then offer to help you move. They don't know I found out. Good, don't tell them yet. Emma's phone pinged. Got it. Sarah Walsh's number, call her today. Emma, I'm scared. She looked at me and her expression softened. I know, but you're not alone in this. I'm here, and you're going to get through it. What if they deny it? What if they say I'm lying? Then you show them the bank records, the forged signatures, the probate documents. Emma gestured at my desk. You have proof. They can't deny proof. I took a shaky breath. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll call the lawyer. Emma hugged me hard. You're doing the right thing. I wanted to believe her, but calling a lawyer against my own parents felt like crossing a line I could never uncross. Still, I picked up my phone and saved Sarah Walsh's number. Because Emma was right. My grandmother had left me that money, and my parents had stolen it. 3 days later, I sat in a waiting room on the 47th floor of a Manhattan office building. Sarah Walsh's law firm occupied the entire floor. Glass walls, modern furniture, city views that made me dizzy. I felt completely out of place. Jasmine Rivera, a woman in her 40s, appeared, wearing a navy suit and sharp eyes. I'm Sarah Walsh, come on back. Her office was smaller than I expected, but lined with law books. She gestured to a chair across from her desk. Emma's mother spoke highly of you, she said, sitting down. Tell me what's going on. I'd rehearsed this in my head 100 times. But sitting there, facing a real lawyer, my voice shook. My grandmother left me $400,000 in her will. My parents were executors. They never told me about the inheritance, and they took almost all of it. Sarah's expression didn't change. How much did they take? $391,588. Over what period? 18 months. She made a note. Do you have documentation? I pulled out my folder. Bank statements, probate records, the will, my grandmother's letter, screenshots of texts from my parents claiming they couldn't afford to help me. Sarah read through everything silently. Her face darkened with each page. Finally, she looked up. This is estate fraud. What does that mean? It means your parents violated their fiduciary duty as executors. They converted trust assets for their own benefit. That's embezzlement. She tapped the forged signatures. And this is forgery. Both are criminal offenses. Criminal offenses, my stomach turned. What are my options? You have 2 paths, criminal and civil. Sarah leaned forward. Criminal means you file a police report. The district attorney decides whether to press charges. If they do, your parents could face jail time. Jail time, I couldn't breathe. The other option. Civil lawsuit. You sue them to recover the stolen funds plus damages. No jail time, but you'd get your money back, hopefully with interest and penalties. How long would that take? 6 to 8 months minimum, maybe longer if they fight it. She paused. It'll be expensive too. I charge $300 an hour. A case like this could run $15,000 to $20,000 in legal fees. $15,000. I had $8,000 left in my inheritance account. Sarah must have seen my face. I can work on contingency. That means I only get paid if we win. I'd take 30% of whatever we recover. 30% of my own money. I know it's not ideal, but it means you don't pay anything up front. She studied me. Jasmine, I'll be honest, your case is extremely strong. The will is clear. The paper trail is undeniable. Those forged signatures are provable. I'd be shocked if we didn't win. And if we do win, you'd get the stolen amount back, plus interest, plus punitive damages. Probably attorney's fees too, and your parents would have a judgment against them. It would ruin their credit. Follow them for years. Ruin them. This is my family, I whispered. I know, Sarah's voice was gentler. These cases are never easy, but what they did was wrong, legally and morally. Your grandmother trusted them to protect your inheritance. They betrayed that trust, and they betrayed you. I looked at the city skyline through her window. Somewhere out there, my parents were going about their lives, probably congratulating themselves on Vanessa's new house. My house, bought with my money. What do I do first? File a police report. Even if you decide not to pursue criminal charges, you need it documented. Then we file a civil complaint. She pulled out a contract. If you want me to represent you. I stared at the contract. Signing it meant war. But they'd already declared war on me. I just hadn't known it. Okay, my voice was steady. Let's do it. Sarah gave me a list of everything she needed. It was 3 pages long. Gather every piece of evidence you can find, she'd said. Emails, texts, photos, receipts, anything that shows their financial choices versus yours. I want to paint a complete picture. So that's what I did. I started with my phone, scrolled back through 2 years of messages. Every time I'd asked for help and been refused. Every time they'd claimed they couldn't afford something while secretly spending my inheritance on Vanessa. Screenshot after screenshot, 47 in total. Then I moved to email. I'd been more formal in emails, asking about tuition support, loan costing, emergency funds. We're stretched thin right now, Jasmine. You'll have to figure it out. Student loans are normal. It'll teach you responsibility. We can't keep bailing you out. Bailing me out while sitting on my $400,000. I saved every email, created a folder labeled evidence. Next, I went through my financial records, every student loan disbursement, every credit card statement showing textbook purchases and rent payments, every pay stub from my campus bookstore job. Proof that I'd been struggling while they'd been spending. Then I searched social media. Vanessa's Instagram was a goldmine. Photos of her boutique's grand opening, the engagement party at the country club, the bridal shower, the bachelorette trip to Miami, the house closing, her holding keys and champagne. Every post was dated. I cross-referenced them with the bank withdrawals. Boutique opening, 3 days after the $45,000 business investment withdrawal. Engagement party, same week as the $80,000 medical expenses withdrawal. Bridal shower, 2 days after the $60,000 home repairs withdrawal. The timeline matched perfectly. I made a spreadsheet, 3 columns, date, withdrawal amount, and lie, Vanessa's event. 18 months of parallel timelines, their theft, her luxury. Emma helped me organize everything into a binder. Chronological tabs, color-coded sections, a table of contents. This looks like a legal brief, she said, impressed. Sarah said documentation is everything. You're doing great, Emma squeezed my shoulder. How are you holding up? Honestly, I was numb. The rage had crystallized into something colder, clearer. Determination. I'm okay, I said. What's next on the list? Police report. Right, Sarah had been insistent about that. The next morning, I walked into the NYPD precinct on 67th Street. The officer at the desk looked bored until I explained why I was there. Financial exploitation, I said, keeping my voice steady. My parents stole my inheritance. His boredom evaporated. How much? $391,000. He sat up straighter. Come with me. Detective Morris took my statement. He was in his 50s, gray hair, tired eyes that sharpened when I showed him the documents. "This is textbook embezzlement," he said, flipping through my binder. "You've done half our job already." "Will they be arrested?" "Depends, DA decides that, but with this level of documentation," he tapped the binder, "I'd say you have a strong case." He assigned me a case number 2020-4884719. I wrote it down carefully, proof that this was real, official. "One more thing," Detective Morris said. "Do your parents know you've discovered this?" "No." "Keep it that way, don't confront them yet, let your lawyer handle it." I nodded, though part of me wanted to call them immediately. To scream, to demand answers. But Sarah had said the same thing. Element of surprise is crucial. Don't give them time to hide assets or create a defense. When I left the precinct, I felt different, lighter somehow. I'd filed a police report against my own parents. I'd made it official. There was no going back now. Over the next 2 weeks, I became obsessed with preparation. I contacted my grandmother's church and got a copy of her memorial service program. I reached out to Aunt Rosa, who provided a witness statement about my grandmother's intentions. "Maria told me many times," Rosa wrote. "She wanted Jasmine to have security. She was worried about how hard Jasmine worked. She never mentioned Vanessa in connection with this money." I hired a forensic accountant through Sarah's firm. He traced every dollar from my inheritance account to Vanessa's expenses. Matched dates, confirmed amounts. His report was 47 pages long and damning. "In my professional opinion," he concluded, "the executors systematically diverted beneficiary funds for the benefit of a third party. This constitutes clear financial exploitation." Sarah called after reviewing everything. "Jasmine, your case is airtight. I've been practicing estate law for 20 years, and I've never seen documentation this thorough." "Is that good?" "It's very good. We file the civil complaint next week. I'm also recommending you pursue criminal charges." "Will they go to jail?" "Maybe, probably not on a first offense, but they'll have criminal records, and they'll owe you everything with interest." I thought about my grandmother's letter. "Do not let anyone tell you otherwise." "Let's do it," I said, "all of it." After we hung up, Emma found me staring at my evidence binder. "You okay?" "I'm about to sue my parents." "You're about to get justice." She corrected me. "There's a difference." Maybe, but it felt like I was burning down my entire family. Then I remembered they'd burned it down first, 18 months ago, when they'd chosen to steal from me. I was just fighting back. The invitation arrived in my email 5 days after I filed the police report. "You're invited, Vanessa's housewarming celebration." I stared at the digital card. Balloons, champagne glasses, come celebrate our beautiful new home. Our Vanessa and her fiancé Derek. The house bought with my inheritance. Emma read over my shoulder. "You're not seriously going." "I am." "Jasmine." "I want them to see my face when I tell them." My voice was cold, calm. "I want everyone to see." Emma sat down slowly. "You're going to confront them, at the party." "Yes." "In front of everyone." "That's the point." She studied me for a long moment, then nodded. "Okay, I'm coming with you." "You don't have to." "I'm coming." Her tone left no room for argument. "You're not doing this alone." I called Sarah Walsh that afternoon. "I'm planning to confront my parents publicly," I said. "At my sister's housewarming party. Is that a bad idea?" Silence, then. "Legally, it's fine. We've already filed the complaint. They'll be served in 2 days anyway." She paused. "Personally, I think it's brave, just don't make any threats. State facts only." "I can do that." "And Jasmine, document everything. Record it if you can, could be useful." After we hung up, I pulled up the invitation again. The party was 3 weeks away. Saturday afternoon. Over 50 guests invited according to the RSVP list Vanessa had cheerfully included. 50 witnesses. Perfect. I clicked accept. Then I started preparing. I printed everything: the will, the bank statements, the forged signatures, the forensic accountant's report, Detective Morris's case number, every piece of evidence organized into a black folder. I practiced my speech in the mirror, wrote it out, memorized it, cut it down to 2 minutes. 2 minutes to destroy my parents' reputation. Emma helped me rehearse, played devil's advocate. What if they deny it? I have documents signed by them. What if they say you're lying? I have a police report, case number 2020-4884719. What if Vanessa cries? I hesitated on that one. Vanessa was the innocent party here. She probably had no idea where the money came from. Then I'll tell her the truth, and she can decide what to do with it. The night before the party, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed thinking about my grandmother, about her letter. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. I wouldn't, abuela, I promise. I texted Aunt Rosa at midnight. Are you going to Vanessa's party tomorrow? She replied immediately, yes, why? I need you there, something's going to happen. Jasmine, what are you planning? Justice. 3 dots appeared, disappeared then, I'll be there, front row. Emma slept on my dorm room floor that night. Moral support. You ready for this? She asked in the dark. No, I was honest, but I'm doing it anyway. Your grandmother would be proud. I hope so, because after tomorrow, my family would never be the same. The days leading up to the party crawled by. My parents texted like nothing was wrong. Mom, looking forward to the party, so proud of Vanessa's beautiful home. Dad, bring a swimsuit if you want, they have a pool. A pool built with my money. I didn't respond to either message. Vanessa texted too, can't wait to see you, it's been too long, let's catch up properly. She had no idea, none of them did. The civil complaint had been filed. Sarah said the sheriff would serve them papers Monday morning, 2 days after the party. I'd beaten them to it. Friday night, Emma and I went over the plan one final time. I'll stay near the door, she said. Record everything on my phone. If anyone tries to stop you or kick you out, I'll have proof of what happened. Thank you. Are you scared? Terrified, my hands were shaking, but also angry, the anger's stronger. Saturday morning arrived with perfect weather. Sunny, 75 degrees, the kind of day made for celebrating. They had no idea what was coming. I dressed carefully, not too formal, not too casual, I wanted to look put together. Strong, I wore my grandmother's vintage blazer, the one I'd worn to graduation, for courage. Emma drove. My hands were shaking too badly to hold the wheel. You can still back out, she said quietly as we pulled onto the highway. No, I can't. Vanessa's house was in an upscale neighborhood 40 minutes outside the city. Tree-lined streets, big yards, the kind of place I'd dreamed of living someday. The kind of place my grandmother wanted me to afford. We parked down the street. I gripped my black folder so hard my knuckles went white. Breathe, Emma said. I couldn't. Jasmine, look at me. She grabbed my shoulders. You've got this, you have the truth, you have proof, and you have every right to be angry. I nodded, took a shaky breath. Ready. Ready. We walked up to the house. It was massive, colonial style, white columns, wraparound porch. A sign out front read, Welcome to the Rivera home. My inheritance paid for this. The front door was open. Music and laughter poured out. Inside, the house was packed. I counted quickly. At least 50 people, maybe more. Family, friends, neighbors, Vanessa's coworkers, Mom's book club friends, Dad's golf buddies. Perfect. Vanessa spotted me immediately and rushed over. Jasmine, you came. She hugged me tight. She was genuinely happy to see me. My heart twisted. She really didn't know. Beautiful house, I managed. Thank you, Mom and Dad were so generous, I still can't believe it. She grabbed my hand. Come on, let me give you a tour. In a minute, I need to find Mom and Dad first. They're on the back patio, by the pool. Of course they were. I walked through the house, hardwood floors, granite countertops, crystal chandelier. Every detail screamed money. My money. The back patio was even more crowded. String lights, catered food, a bartender mixing drinks. And there they were. Mom and Dad holding champagne glasses, laughing with guests, celebrating. Mom saw me and waved. Jasmine, come here, honey. I walked over. Emma stayed near the patio door, phone ready. Aunt Rosa stood near the pool, watching me with sharp eyes. She nodded once. It was time. Everyone, Dad was tapping his glass. If I could have your attention for a moment. The patio went quiet, 50+ people turned toward him. I just want to say how proud Linda and I are of our daughter Vanessa and her fiancé Derek. This house, this beautiful home, represents everything we've worked for as a family. Everything they'd worked for, with my stolen inheritance. We're so happy to give them this foundation to build their lives on. To family. To family, the crowd echoed, raising glasses. My vision went red. I stepped forward. Actually, I said loudly, I have something to say about this house. Every eye turned to me. Dad frowned. Jasmine, we're in the middle of. This house was purchased with stolen money. Silence dropped like a bomb. 53 people stare at me. I count them. Mom's smile freezes. Jasmine, what are you? This house, I say louder, was purchased with money stolen from my inheritance. The silence deepens. Someone's glass clinks. I pull out my black folder. My hands are steady now. My grandmother, your mother, Mom, left me $400,000 in her will for my education and my first home. I hold up the will. It's right here, notarized, legal, specific. Dad's face drains of color. This is not the time. You were executors. I don't let him finish. You had a legal duty to give me this money. Instead, you stole it. We did not steal, Mom starts. 3 who? Endred and $91,588. I say each word clearly. That's how much you took, over 18 months. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Aunt Rose's hand covers her mouth. I pull out the bank statements, hold them up. These are the withdrawals. $45,000 for Vanessa's boutique, $80,000 for her engagement party, $60,000 for her bridal shower. My voice rises. $142,000 for the down payment on this house. Vanessa stumbles backward. What? All of it, I look at her, came from my inheritance. The money Abuela left me, for my education, for my future home. That's not true, Mom's voice shakes. We invested it properly. You forged my signature. I pull out the authorization forms. These aren't my signatures. I never knew this account existed. I walk closer, the crowd parts. While you spent my inheritance on Vanessa, I worked 20 hours a week. I took out $31,000 in student loans. I ate ramen for dinner because I couldn't afford groceries. My voice cracks. I asked you for help. You said no. You said you couldn't afford it. I pull out my phone, read from my screenshots. Student loans are normal, Jasmine. It'll teach you responsibility. That's what you texted me, Dad, while you were spending $40,000 of my money on Vanessa's bachelorette party. Dad's face is red now. You don't understand how family finances work. I understand theft. I cut him off. I understand fraud. I understand embezzlement. The word lands like a grenade. I filed a police report 5 days ago. Case number 2020-4884719, NYPD Financial Crimes Unit. I hold up the case report. Detective Morris said this is textbook embezzlement. Mom's champagne glass slips from her hand. It shatters on the stone patio. You filed a police report, Dad's voice is strangled, against your own parents. You stole from your own daughter. My voice is steel. For 18 months, while I struggled, while I begged for help, you sat on my $400,000 and told me to figure it out. Vanessa is crying now. I didn't know, Jasmine, I swear I didn't know. I believe her. I know you didn't. I turn back to my parents. My lawyer filed a civil lawsuit 2 days ago. You'll be served Monday morning. I hold up the complaint. Sarah Walsh, estate law, she says my case is airtight. This is ridiculous. Mom finds her voice. We're your parents. We made financial decisions for the family. The will said MY education and MY home. I'm shouting now. Not Vanessa's. Mine. Abuela wrote my name. She left me that money because she saw how hard I worked, how much I sacrificed. I pull out my grandmother's letter. My hand shakes, but I read it anyway. This money is yours. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. It is for your education and your future home, no one else's. My voice breaks. She knew I'd need this protection, and you stole it anyway. Uncle Marco steps forward from the crowd. Maria told me about this money. She said it was for Jasmine's future. She was very specific. She told me too, Aunt Rosa adds, her voice hard. She said Jasmine had struggled enough, that this money would give her security. Other relatives murmur agreement. The crowd is turning. Mom looks desperate. We were going to tell you. When? I demand. After you spent all of it, there's $8,000 left, out of $400,000. When exactly were you planning to tell me? Dad tries a different approach. Jasmine, family is more important than money. Then why did you choose money over me? My voice cracks. Why did you choose Vanessa's house over my future? Why did you let me drown in debt while you spent my inheritance? He has no answer. I look around at the crowd, 53 witnesses. I wanted you all to know the truth, before you celebrate this house, before you congratulate them on their generosity. I gesture at the colonial mansion. This was built on theft, on lies, on money meant to give me the foundation my grandmother wanted me to have. I close my folder. Enjoy the party. I walk toward the door. Emma appears beside me immediately. Behind us, chaos erupts, voices shouting, Vanessa sobbing, someone demanding answers. Aunt Rosa follows us out. Jasmine, wait. I turn, she hugs me hard. Your grandmother would be so proud of you. That breaks me, I start crying. Come on, Emma says gently, let's go. As we walk to the car, I hear my mother screaming inside, my father shouting. I hear Derek asking Vanessa what's happening. I hear relatives taking sides. I hear my family tearing itself apart. But I don't look back. Emma drove us back to the dorm in silence. My phone started buzzing before we reached the highway. Aunt Rosa, I'm so proud of you. Uncle Marco, we had no idea, I'm sorry. Cousins I hadn't heard from in years. Your parents lied to everyone. Then the angry ones. Mom, how could you do this to us at your sister's party? Dad, you've embarrassed this entire family. Call me immediately. Vanessa, I didn't know. Please believe me, I didn't know. I believed her, but I couldn't respond yet. By midnight, 47 messages. By morning, 63. Emma stayed with me, made me eat, took my phone when the calls wouldn't stop. They'll be served Monday, she reminded me. Sarah said not to engage. I didn't, I blocked my parents' numbers. That night I slept for the first time in weeks, exhausted, but lighter. The truth was out. I'd said it in front of 53 witnesses. No more secrets, no more lies. The sheriff served my parents the civil complaint Monday morning at 7 a.m. Sarah called me that afternoon. They've been served. Your father tried to refuse the papers. Didn't work. What happens now? They have 30 days to respond. Then discovery starts. We'll exchange evidence, take depositions. This will take months. Months turned out to be accurate. Their lawyer filed a response 3 weeks later. It was 20 pages of excuses. The funds were used for family expenses. Jasmine Rivera was aware of financial decisions. No fraud occurred. Every line was a lie. Sarah tore it apart. They're claiming you knew about the account, she laughed darkly. We have your student loan statements, your work history, proof you struggled financially while they spent your money. This defense is insulting. Discovery began in July, 3 months of document exchanges. I sat for a deposition, 6 hours of my parents, lawyer asking hostile questions. Isn't it true you were jealous of your sister? No. Isn't it true you fabricated this story for attention? I have bank records, signed by my parents. Isn't it true you're simply greedy? That one made me snap. Greedy? I worked 20 hours a week while they spent my inheritance. I ate ramen while they bought my sister a house. I'm not greedy, I'm owed. Sarah squeezed my hand under the table. Well said. My parents sat for depositions too. Sarah said they were disasters. Your father couldn't explain the withdrawals. Your mother cried and claimed they were helping the family. Neither of them could justify the forged signatures. By September, settlement talks began. Their lawyer called Sarah. My clients are willing to offer $50,000 to make this go away. $50,000 out of $391,000 stolen. Absolutely not, I said. Sarah agreed, we're going to trial. But before trial, the criminal case moved forward. The DA's office had been investigating since my police report. Detective Morris called in October. We're filing charges, 3 counts, embezzlement, forgery, and fraud. Will they go to jail? Depends on the judge. First offense, probably probation, but they'll have criminal records. The criminal trial happened first, November. I sat in the courtroom and watched my parents plead. Their lawyer tried to negotiate. My clients are willing to plead guilty to misdemeanor fraud. In exchange, dismiss the embezzlement and forgery charges. The prosecutor looked at me. I shook my head. No deal, he said. So they went to trial. It lasted 3 days. The evidence was overwhelming. Bank statements, forged signatures, my grandmother's will, the forensic accountant's report. I testified, told the jury about working while they spent my money, about the graduation ceremony, about finding out the truth. My mother cried on the stand. We never meant to hurt her. We thought we were making good investments for the family. Did you tell Jasmine about the inheritance? The prosecutor asked. Silence. Did you ask her permission before spending her money? More silence. Did you forge her signature on withdrawal authorizations? We thought we believed. Answer the question, did you forge her signature? Yes, barely a whisper. The jury deliberated for 2 hours. Guilty on all 3 counts. My father put his head in his hands. My mother sobbed. I felt nothing but relief. Sentencing came 2 weeks later. 3 years probation, $4,500 per month restitution until the full amount is repaid with interest. Total, $467,000. The judge looked at my parents over his glasses. You violated your fiduciary duty as executors. You stole from your own daughter during one of the most important periods of her life. Your actions were calculated, repeated, and cruel. You will pay back every cent. Then he looked at me. Ms. Rivera, I'm also granting your request for a restraining order. 5 years. Your parents are not to contact you directly or indirectly. 5 years of protection, 5 years of peace. As we left the courthouse, my mother tried to approach me. A bailiff stepped between us. Ma'am, the restraining order is effective immediately. She stood there crying while I walked past. I didn't look back. The civil case settled a month later. There. Lawyer called Sarah. My clients can't afford a civil trial on top of the criminal restitution. They'll agree to the full judgment amount plus attorney fees. We won, every dollar plus interest plus Sarah's fees. But winning meant something else too. My family fractured completely. Aunt Rosa sided with me immediately. So did Uncle Marco, 7 cousins, my grandmother's church friends. 2 of my father's brothers stayed neutral. 1 uncle sided with my parents, the one who owed Dad money. Mom's book club dropped her. Dad's golf buddies stopped calling. Their church asked them to step down from the volunteer committee. Vanessa called me in December. I'm selling the house. What? I can't live there. Every time I walk in, I think about how you were suffering while I was celebrating. It makes me sick. Her voice cracked. I'm giving you the money from the sale. It's the least I can do. Vanessa, you didn't know. But I should have. I should have questioned where the money came from. I should have noticed you were struggling. She was crying. I'm so sorry, Jasmine. I'm so sorry. We met for coffee in January, first time since the party. She looks thinner, tired. Derek and I postponed the wedding. I'm in therapy, trying to understand how I was part of this, even if I didn't know. You weren't part of it. I benefited from it. That makes me complicit. She pushed an envelope across the table. This is my share of the house sale after the mortgage payoff. $63,000. It's yours. I stared at the check. Vanessa. Take it, please. It's the only way I can sleep at night. I took it, not because I needed it, because she needed to give it. Thank you. Can we, she hesitated. Can we try to rebuild? I know I don't deserve it, but. You're my sister. I reached across the table. And you're trying, that's enough. But my parents, no reconciliation, no forgiveness. They made their choice 18 months ago when they took my inheritance. I'd made mine at the housewarming party. We were done. It's been 3 years since that housewarming party. 3 years since I stood in front of 53 people and told the truth. Sometimes it feels like it happened to someone else. But then I look at my bank account and remember, this is real, I won. The restitution payments come like clockwork, $4,500 every month, direct deposit into my account. So far, I've received $162,000. There's still more to come, another 6 years of payments. I paid off my student loans first, all $31,000. Gone. The day I made that final payment, I cried. Then I started rebuilding. I work as a data analyst now for a financial tech company in Manhattan. Started as an entry-level analyst right after graduation. Got promoted twice. Now I'm a senior analyst making $95,000 a year. I have my own apartment, 1 bedroom in Brooklyn with exposed brick and big windows. I signed the lease 2 years ago, stood in the empty living room and cried because it was mine. My name on the lease, my money paying the rent. My credit score went from 580 to 780. I check it every month like it's a report card. I have a 6-month emergency fund, retirement account, investment portfolio. The foundation my grandmother wanted me to have, I built it. Not the way she planned, but I built it anyway. Therapy helped. I've been seeing Dr. Chen for 2 years now, weekly sessions at first, now monthly. You've done the work, she told me last month. You've processed the betrayal, set boundaries, built a new life. You should be proud. I am proud, but it's complicated. I don't talk to my parents, haven't spoken to them in 3 years. The restraining order expires in 2 years. I won't renew it, but I won't reach out either. They're strangers to me now. Mom sent one letter through her lawyer about a year ago, an apology attempt. We made mistakes, we miss you, family should forgive. I never responded. Because here's what I learned. Forgiveness isn't mandatory, and family isn't an excuse for theft. Vanessa and I have coffee once a month. She's working now, paying her own bills, still in therapy. She sold the house 2 years ago and we split the proceeds. She refused to keep any of it. You deserved that money, she said. I'm just sorry it took so long to get to you. We're rebuilding, slowly. She'll never be my best friend, but she's my sister. And she's trying, that counts for something. Aunt Rosa and I are closer than ever. Sunday dinners at her place. She tells me stories about my grandmother, about how proud she'd be. Maria knew, Rosa told me once. She knew your parents favored Vanessa. That's why she was so specific in the will. She wanted you protected. I wish she could see me now, see that her money, what was left of it, gave me exactly what she hoped for: security, foundation, a future. I'm dating someone. His name is Marcus. We met at work. He knows the whole story. I told him on our 3rd date because I needed him to understand. I don't do secrets anymore. I don't do people who lie. He held my hand and said, your parents were idiots to choose money over you. We've been together a year. Some days are still hard. Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, I see other families together and feel the loss. But then I remember, I didn't lose a family. I escaped one that never valued me. And I built a new one. Emma, Aunt Rosa, my cousins, Marcus, Dr. Chen, the friends who stood by me. This family chose me, and I chose them back. I drive past my old house sometimes. My parents still live there. Smaller now, they had to downsize to afford the restitution payments. I don't feel guilty about that. They made choices. They face consequences. Last month, I got a letter from Colombia. They'd heard my story. Someone wrote an article about inheritance theft. They wanted to feature me in their alumni magazine. Jasmine Rivera, fighting for justice and building success against all odds. I said yes, because my story isn't just about betrayal. It's about fighting back, about refusing to be silent, about demanding what's yours. My grandmother left me $400,000. My parents stole it, but I got it back. Not all of it yet, but I will. And in the process, I got something more valuable, proof that I could survive anything. Proof that I'm strong enough to stand alone. Proof that I deserve respect. I have a photo on my desk now, me at graduation, wearing my cap and gown and grandmother's blazer. Emma took it after the ceremony while I was crying. I look broken in that photo, lost. But I wasn't broken. I was about to fight back. And I won. If you've been betrayed by family, if someone has stolen from you, If you've been the invisible child your whole life, fight back. Document everything, find a lawyer, file the reports, tell the truth. You're not being vindictive, you're not tearing your family apart. They did that when they chose to hurt you. You're just refusing to stay silent. My grandmother wanted me to have security. My parents tried to take that away, but I got it back, not because of their generosity, because I fought for it. And if I can do it, so can you. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. This is Achiever Betrayed, where we don't just survive betrayal, we rise above it. Subscribe if you want more stories of justice, resilience, and refusing to be silenced, because your story matters, and you deserve to win.